Pantheons I can play against, so I'm not too anxious playing into this guy. You're hard outscale this matchup. Okay, KarasMai. You know who used to call me that? Night Blue 3. Every time I played against him, he called me KarasMai. Yo, mods, we want to gamble. Yeah, you gotta wake the mods up if you want to gamble, you know. I'm. Once I get the once I start spamming my function keys on my tab, I'm locked in. I'm ready to go. I think I'm gonna do a ton of buff clear this game. Just path for bot lane. Oh, bot to top full clear. Strange. With green spy too? Okay, this is weird, Pantheon player. I don't want to be mean, but I feel like this game's already over. Alright. Good ward though, I'm glad this guy warded for me. Like I said, this guy's a good mid laner. A good mid laner, I think, is the most important thing for a jungler, to be honest. If you're below 1 million points, you're broke. You know, I read your message and I thought you said if you're below 1 million, just dollars, you're broke, and I was gonna be like, holy crap. $1 million? That's a lot of money. That's like how much money Dantes has.
I have chosen you.
Yeah, Leona's not that tanky, especially without her W. Figured I'd just flash get the kill there. I think they could die without me, if I'm being real.
Why not?
I should have dove that. Thought they could have dove without me, alright? I guess not.
Not my first choice.
She does a flash barrier. Yeah, I should have dove with them. My bad. My bad. I should have been there.
Yeah.
Thing is though, if I die and I get double scuttled, I think that's actually not good for me because I'm down XP. Even though I'm 2 kills, or kill and assist, and it's good for my team.
I learned from
I don't know. Did you say the Overlord build more than Voltaic, or choice will depend on team comp? I wish I had an answer for you, Freezy, but I don't know yet. I'm kind of just going based off feeling, okay, if I feel like I want this slow, I'm gonna go Voltaic. Okay, if I feel like if I want to be a frontline, I'm gonna go Eclipse. Okay, if I don't feel like I need this slow, and I don't feel like I need to be a frontline, I'll go Overlords. But honestly, because it's such a fresh build, I've been doing the Overlords build, I don't even think I have more than 10 games on it yet. So I don't have a concrete answer for you yet. A lot of the times when it comes to my builds, I'll mention what they are early on, especially if I know that they're good, but I won't have all the answers to all the questions right now. But I'm glad you asked that question. You do have really good questions from all the ones I've seen you ask. It's nice to see, but unfortunately I don't have an answer to that one yet.
And you will die.
You will lose.
I'm still feeling it out, but once I know, I'll be sure to tell you. It won't be too long, it just takes a little bit of game time, you know. Able to get my damage off, and I was able to, whatchamacallit? Get away. Her flash here is really big, I think. Nice. She does have barrier, so. Flash a barrier. I got the Galio as well. Oh, that's really good. Sweet. Thanks for blessing us with your knowledge. Yeah, of course, buddy. That's what I'm here for. Here to answer a lot of you guys' questions. if I can't, well then give me some time and I'll get the insight to be able to answer it for you. But yeah, I definitely think this is a game where I played this matchup against Pantheon and I really love the Voltaic build into him. Like, I think it's just so good, because he does like to run away often with his E. It's kind of like, I wouldn't say like a Riven, maybe like a very like dumbed down version of a Riven, where like he'll like fight you, but then the second he's losing a fight, he's gonna like empowered E and run away. But Voltaic just takes that away. It just doesn't give him any chance of doing that. So he never has an out, he only has an in. When you're strong enough to fight a Pantheon, you'll always kill him. And it's not hard to like get strong enough to fight a Pantheon, in my opinion. So I guess that's my thought process with Voltaic and a Pantheon. I'll put a control word here and slam a trinket there. Thoughts on pirate software drama? I think once I stopped caring about like streamer drama or like online drama or any drama, I became a happier person. Because I don't even... Okay, I do know who Pirate Software is because I saw the whole WoW thing when that went on, because I was watching Tyler a lot when he was playing it. But, I mean, aside from that, like, I could care less. It's like caring about like Kim Kardashian drama or like caring about like, I don't know, any celebrity. It's just niche micro-internet celebrities. I just like to think and talk about video games and play them. You know what I mean? When I go online, that's really all I do it for. It's like just to play video games, talk about video games, and you know, that's pretty much it. I'm not saying like it's bad if you're interested in that stuff. Like, no, you're interested in what you're interested in. Oh god, I ate way more damage than I should have. God, I fumbled the bag there. I ate way too much damage there, but... How does a gold player like me start learning more about how itemization works? God, I wish I had a good answer for that. That's actually kind of hard to answer. Well, itemization, I feel like it's kind of like Legos, but the thing is when you're like kind of newish to the game, you kind of have to like understand a little bit more about like what's good in meta and what's not, because the truth about understanding like itemization to a T to where you can be like very confident to make your own builds is you really have to keep up with like patches, and you really have to keep up with like, you know, what's hot, what's not, you know? So like, oh yeah, like right now Overlords is really good, so being able to itemize Overlords is really nice. And Eclipse is solid, so you should build it here. Or, you know, this item's not good, so don't build this item. Or this item's good, but in this situation you should build. Like, it is... Oh man, fuck, that's a hard question. I guess just watching, because I usually like explain my thought process with itemization, like just watching and playing, but I don't really have like a quick way. Maybe I should do like a content series where I make like flashcards for each item. I'll make like flashcards. Like, okay, so guys, in this situation, what item would you build? Yes! Okay. That sounds like such a great idea, but I'm trying to think of in a way that wouldn't make it too convoluted, because you'd have to like think about core, and then you'd have to even understand what core is, and you have to understand why core is. Oh shit. It's so much easier to teach and be informative for people when they already kind of have like a grasp, like, you know, they already kind of have like a foot in the door, but when you're like kind of starting off fresh, when it comes to fully understanding itemization, it is kind of a... It's definitely a long journey. Good for a short. Yeah, maybe it could be like a good YouTube short series, but... Shit, I'll think of something. Because it actually is a good idea. Where do you even begin on that? I would say I'd have to stick with Kayn though. Like, I can't really explain itemization on every champ. I understand how itemization works on every champs, but if I start talking about every champion, it's gonna get really confusing. Like, the basics of do's and don'ts, like what, okay, you can get this, but don't get this with that. Okay, you can get that, but don't, like, I could do all that, but I feel like that's gonna get really confusing. Because you know, sometimes where it's like too much knowledge, it's like, it's gonna make it harder to learn and understand. So like, I can explain this game's itemization. Let's just start like ground zero. Let's start with this game, right? So, I mentioned early game, like, or early on, that like Kayn has 3 really great starter items. Either Shojin, Voltaic, or Eclipse, right? Eclipse is really good if you don't need a slow, and you want to be a frontliner for your backline, and you're not planning on being a carry. And Shojin is good if you want to be a carry and you don't need a slow. So I think I need a slow because Pantheon, as I mentioned, is a champ that he'll always look to fight you, and his out whenever he can't win the fight is his E. But Voltaic takes away his E, so it's like a counter to Pantheon, right? So in that way, it's really good. So you're always gonna go second item. You're always gonna go one of 2 items: Cleaver or Shojin. Now, Cleaver is an item that you're gonna go if you're not playing to carry the game. You're playing to have your teammates carry the game. So Cleaver would pair very well with Eclipse. It wouldn't pair well with Shojin, or it wouldn't pair well with Voltaic because those are solo carry builds. When you're playing to carry, you don't play what I'd call utility itemization, right? Does that make sense? And then third item, I would say, for the carry builds, it'll always be Grudge. So that part's not confusing. That part's easy. If you're going a non-carry build, that's when it starts getting flexible earlier on. So if they have a lot of AD, you can go an armor item. If they have a lot of AP, I need to make like, okay, I have an idea. Friday's video on YouTube. The Kayn item tier list for Red Kayn. Wait. I have an idea. The Kayn item tier list for Red Kayn. Friday's video. Because I think if you understand the tiers of each item, and you understand when to go each item, we're gaming. Okay, well let me continue my itemization thought process this game. So, like I said, we're starting on ground zero because if I give you too much information all at once, you're gonna get confused. So this game, we're going Shojin secondary, and then Grudge. So this is what I'd call core for this build. For if you need a slow, the core is always gonna be the same 3 items. So it's always gonna be Voltaic, it's always gonna be Shojin, it's always gonna be Grudge. The boots will always be between 2 boots. Merc Treads, Blade Steel Caps, right? So, if they have a lot of CC, you go Merc Treads. If they have a lot of auto attack damage, you go Blade Steel Caps. So their team actually has a lot of CC, so I'm thinking Merc Treads, right? So if I go Merc Treads, and I have, okay, here, I got you, buddy. Okay, I got you. This is gonna make things make a lot more sense. Okay. So if I go Voltaic, Shojin, Grudge, and I have Merc Treads, what do you think is the next best item? I have MR, I have Tenacity, I have HP, I have damage, I have a slow to get on top of them. What stat am I missing? Armor. So I would want to get armor. Do I want more damage? Am I trying to kill them? Am I ahead? Am I snowballing the game? If yes, I'm going to go Death Stance. Do I just want to be tankier? Okay, yes. So, do I want to be tankier and I'm struggling to stay on top of them? Okay, then Deadman's. Do I want to be tankier and they have 2 or more crit users? Okay, Randuin's. And if it doesn't fit either criteria, I don't need the MS, and I don't need, that bonus damage, and they don't have a lot of crit, I'm going Frozen Heart, always. So Frozen Heart is like the, you can't go wrong with it. It's always going to be good no matter what. So that's like a fallback, like if you don't need anything else. So, in this game, I would need, look at how ahead I am. So if I'm really ahead, 4th item, if I want armor, logically, the smartest 4th item after I get Grudge would be Death Stance, right? And then after that, whatever I feel like I need at that point. So if they have a lot of burst, Sterix. If they have a lot of AP burst,
KarasMai. Haven't played League, but always enjoy watching you.
And then same thing for Maw, like for Death Stance. Do they have a lot? Do I need more damage? Like, am I carrying? If the answer is yes, well then guess what? I'm going, wait, Maw. If If I don't need the bonus damage and I just want to be like tanky, then I'm going. Okay, it's actually very similar. Now that I think about it. Okay, this is actually so easy to explain. Okay, if I need bonus MS and MR, Force of Nature. If I am dealing against a lot of AP bursts, Caning. If I don't need either of those, and I don't need the bonus damage from Maw, always go Visage. See? Ah! Okay. Wait, that's actually a great idea for a video. Yo, shout out my boy who asked that question. I feel like that'll do good. I feel like this, I'll see, it wasn't as hard to explain as I thought it would be. Like I said, understanding itemization at first is hard, but once you understand it, it's kind of like building blocks. It's like Legos. It really is. Like for me, it is. For Kayn, like, that's how I kind of want to start it. Like for Kayn, just explaining that, but I could explain itemization for like basically any champ, AD, AP, Assassin, AD carry. It's like kind of like, it's like a lot of those criterias, I guess, you know what I mean? But then to be consistent with like understanding really good itemization, you do have to keep up with like metas. You have to keep up with like item changes, because like the best build right now could be a completely different build in 2 weeks, or a completely different build in 2 months, or a completely different build in 2 years, right? So people still ask me about builds that I was doing like 2 years ago, like, oh, what about Summon Ahri build? Like I used to run Summon Ahri in my runes. Or I used to run like First Strike up, on Blue Kayn, and they're like, oh, I thought this build was really good, what happened? That's how builds are. They could be the best build, and then all it takes is one patch, and it's boom. Oh, I saw that W. Holy crap. When's the new mic incoming? Oh, I know you're waiting for that one. I'm probably gonna order it tonight, and then once it comes in, I gotta do all like the sound setup, because it's a really nice mic, so I gotta set it up properly. But it's coming, buddy. Well, general rule of thumb, not Greek, is if you're ahead and snowballing, more damage. If you're behind, you get tankier. I feel like that's always like a general like rule of thumb. But like more like a utility, I'd say. Oh! If he died, I would have been fine. Oh. Yeah, but also a good like way to understand optimization is when you look at your death charts, like whenever you die, like look at how much physical damage I'm taking. It's because I don't have any armor. And if I'm noticing like, okay, I'm getting CC'd a lot. So whenever you die, okay, if you want to understand itemization, I think the two most important things to look at whenever you die, look at CC duration, and then look at what type of damage you're dying to. So if I'm getting a lot of physical damage, and then I also acknowledge that they do have a lot of CC, then my best items would be to get Merc Treads and then armor. So I think that's really important to understand.
This time they die. I see the vile
A lowest breach is the opposite. Well, that's because it's like based on champion. But I think for like a lot of junglers, it's a general rule of thumb, because jungle is a different role than top lane. Because top laners have 2-level lead on junglers typically. Like I'm insanely fed. I'm playing really well, and you know, Irelia still has a level lead on me, right? Top laners get more XP than junglers, so it makes sense for a top laner to say like, okay, if you're behind, go more damage, because it's easier for you to like do more with that damage. But if you're behind and you're 2 levels down as a jungler, you're not gonna. Building full damage won't really do much for you, I would say.
Kayn wasted this last will not.
I told you the Syndra's good. Did I not tell you the Syndra's good? This guy's a beast. This guy's a beast. Oh man.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Yeah, but I told you this build is really good. For AP junks, it might. Yeah, no, I mean, it could definitely be the case. But see, when I explain things, I usually explain things from a Kayn perspective. But, or like, champs that are similar to Kayn, I suppose, and jungle. So, like, that's usually my, like, perspective. But the laws of League can change. Like, it's not, like, it could be interchangeable depending on, like, if someone's playing, like, a different role, different category of champion, like AP, assassin, junglers. I mean, assassins always build full damage no matter what. Doesn't matter if you're behind or ahead. If you're an assassin, you're pretty much always building full damage. The only time an assassin builds like defensive is when they're ahead, which is kind of like counterintuitive to how most champs work, which is the funny thing. But yeah, see, at this point I'm gonna get armor, like Death Stance and all that jazz. Start me out the Syndra? Nah, it's Sim. I don't know who this guy is, but I played with him the other day, and he always does really good. He's around like 10 CS per minute. It's all of his CC. Very consistent. I was saying, I really wish I could play with like a consistent mid laner like this every game. Makes me miss the days of high elo duo queue. I mean, technically I could duo because of Masters. If you're Masters in NA, you could duo. I know that's not the same case for every region, but duo up to GM, and then you can't duo GM Chow. Alright, we should get the triple inhib now. It's good to get a triple inhib at this point. It's smarter for me to use my ulti early on so I don't get like CC locked, and then yeah, I can actually like play. Cause it just baits Galio and then we win the game. Alright, let's go. Harvest is for blue only? Oh, look at my word, buddy. I disagree. I disagree.